Hey everybody, we're back. Next episode. Tonight we got a pretty good one for you. Daniel, how you doing, man?
Hey Shane, what's up, bro? Doing great.
Yeah, it's Friday and ready for a good weekend. But today we have, I think it'll be a topic that everybody can relate to, men, women, everybody alike. Um, it can maybe be a little, I don't know, hard, you could say, but it's something important that we want to talk about. And it's about how to deal with burnout. And this could apply to not just dating, but even just relation, like, normal, friendly for relationships or your work, your job, um,
Mhm.
just anything really, or something you're just too committed to, maybe volunteer work or something. But I think we'll focus more on dating, but just know that these principles apply to pretty much anything. We came up with a list and we're going to just talk about it and maybe
Mhm.
share some experiences and hope to show some insight. So, Daniel, have you had burnout before with dating or something else? Anything?
Yeah, man, definitely. I feel like everybody has experienced burnout at some point. And like you said, not only dating someone. Personally, I felt it when I was working. So I had it at work and
Mm-hmm.
working on my business. Just, there was a
Mm-hmm.
time when even though this is my passion, this is what I love, and I never thought that I would stop feeling that drive. I did, and I felt like I needed to take a break. And well, I mean, that wasn't my first reaction. At first I freaked out. I was like, but I'm supposed to be loving this because this is what I'm supposed to do. This is my passion. Why am I feeling this way? And so my initial reaction wasn't the best. But I think understanding, what's really going on with your situation is really critical, and that basically takes us to the first pointer we want to make today, which is to recognize the signs when you feel the burnout happening.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think so. For me, person, and thanks for sharing that with me. I've had burnout definitely with dating, especially with online dating. A lot of us have probably either are doing it or have done it, and so we all can probably relate to that. It can get a little overwhelming. You can have the disappointment. You can have
Mhm.
you feel like you're wasting a lot of time or energy, or just dealing with rejection, which we've talked about in the past. It can just, to be frank, it can suck sometimes. It's just like anything else in life, really. And so I think to recognize those signs is important and not deny them, not mask them or make excuses. So I'm trying to think some of the signs I've had in the past of just you're getting frustrated. It's consuming a lot of your time. It's your energy. If it's affecting you in your personal life or your work life or your home life, that's definitely a big sign right there, I would say.
Mhm.
If it's draining you financially or emotionally, if you find yourself maybe having an emotional breakdown, um,
Mhm.
or if it's just taking away from things that you need to focus on, if it's your health, your finances, your family, your career, your side hustle, your house, um, those are definitely huge signs. So it's important to just be very cognizant and aware of these things, and don't deny them and don't push them away. And know that there's nothing wrong with these things. A burnout is completely normal. It happens, and that's a time to either take really dial it back, or you can just take a break, even if it's just say a 2 week break or a 1 month break. That can make a huge difference, because I've done that before in the past, where just taking a 2 week break or so, or a month break, can make all the difference. So
Nice, man. Nice,
yeah.
nice, nice. And usually that's not, I mean, it seems obvious, right? That that's something we should be doing when we're feeling burnout. But
Yeah.
we don't do it right away. It's like we still
Mhm.
resist, you know,
Mhm.
and we, I mean, nobody likes to feel these burnout, and that's why I mean, which is kind of paradoxical, right? It's not a fun feeling, but for some reason we hold on to it, like we try to fight it. Whereas what we should do if you're feeling burnout now is to take a break and just relax and let it be. Don't, I think the burnout happens when you're trying to fight something that is not working. And so if something is not working out for you, then you should just accept that and explore other avenues. Just try different things, other things, not the same. You know, the definition of insanity is trying to get different results from doing the same thing.
Yep.
So recognize the signs. You know, why are you feeling this way? Okay, I guess it's because this is not working. Whatever I'm doing is not giving me the results I expect. So why do I keep doing the same thing if I'm not getting the results that I want? Right? It should be pretty obvious, but for some reason we get clingy to this idea, right? To
Yep.
this only way to do this. You know, there is only one way to skin a cat, but there is not, right? There's multiple ways to skin a cat. So recognize the sign, and I move on to the second tip here for you guys if you're feeling burnout right now is self-care. So prioritize your self-care. And what does it mean? It means taking time for yourself, finding activities that bring you joy, that make you happy, that make you feel alive. Make sure you're getting enough rest. Please don't neglect your physical and emotional needs. I don't know. What do you think, Shane?
Definitely. I mean, this goes with even if you're in a relationship or you're single or whatever, you have to find time for yourself. Like you said, rest, diet, exercise. Make sure you're drinking enough water. Um, just emotional space. Like if you need a night to yourself, if you don't want to go out that night, then just be honest with your friends or your partner. Like I don't want to go out tonight, or I need a night to myself. You know, just make sure you communicate clearly. But that's nothing wrong with that. Or if you need like a massage or a spa day, or do some yoga, or um, take a nice long walk in nature, or take a nice drive or something. These are all good examples of, or just one thing I like is to do is just listen to some music, you know, play
Mm-hmm.
some, my favorite songs and just jam out, you know, turn up the volume a little bit and just kind of escape and just think about good memories or think about things I need to get done or, you know, whatever it might be, or just pick up your favorite show and watch an episode or two of your favorite show. It could be almost anything. Um, just really,
Treat yourself to dinner.
yeah, treat yourself to dinner. Either you can cook yourself a nice meal, go out to a nice meal, order a nice meal, um, have a nice beverage of some sorts. Maybe go play with some animals, like play with your dog or your cat, or go to like, if you don't have an animal, you can go to like any dog or cat shelter and just play with the cats for whatever for free, or volunteer like at a dog and an animal shelter or something, or do some volunteer work or something. You know, there's all kinds of things. There's endless forms of what you could do. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, and there was a point earlier that you were saying something, and I can't remember it right now. It'll probably come back to me. But yeah, just really recognizing those signs, and then once you recognize them, take a step back, and then turn inward towards yourself. And I know maybe it sounds paradoxical or selfish, but there's something selfish with taking care of yourself when you need to. So
Right, right. In like you said, it's paradoxical, right? But how can we take care of others when we can even take care of ourselves?
exactly, it's kind of
Right,
like, you know, when you're on an airplane, you know, they say if the air mask comes
right.
down, therefore what do? You put yours on first, because if you're not able to help yourself, you can't help others. It's
Exactly.
the same principle. Help your, you know, make sure. And I have a one of my former bosses at work. She was one of the best bosses I've ever had. She told me one time, you know, when it comes to like taking leave and sick time and stuff, she's like, take care of yourself outside of work, because if you're not good outside of work, you're not going to be good inside work. And it's so true.
Mhm.
And that goes mentally and physically and emotionally, all the things. So
You
yeah,
got to, you got to, you got to.
you got to. What's
And
the next? Oh, go ahead.
and again, you know, it's all about having self-compassion and being nice to yourself. I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why, you know, and another point I want to make is that one suggestion for you guys is to perhaps, if you're feeling burnout, is because you're not giving yourself quality time. And sometimes quality
Yeah.
time means calling a friend, right? Like, you know, my
Mm-hmm.
conversations with Shane here, you know, in a way that's giving me some self-care because it helps my mental health to stay sane. You know, talking to somebody helps always. So that's why it's important to have good people that you can call to when you're not feeling very, you know, very I don't know, excited about life, you know. So just have a community of people. Maybe you don't have anybody to call, but still have a community. Go meet new people if you know, if you can. So yeah, there is multiple ways, and I think Shane already mentioned a few others.
Yeah.
So
I think we've already talked about. I don't know if we did an episode. I think we did an episode on it, or at least a moment on it, where having a good support system, friends,
mhm.
family, um, having friends of both sexes is important. I believe, in my opinion, those are all great things. And if you're not, maybe you don't have, maybe your support system is, maybe it's filtered out. Maybe like a lot of your friends that got married and have had kids or moved away or what have you. A great way to meet people is either just pick an activity that you like if you like board games,
Mhm.
go to a game shop. Meetup is another great way of meeting people. I've met a lot of people on Meetup over the years, and some of
Mhm.
which have become friends, or like they kind of join your network in a way. Like they can help you in one way or another, professionally or personally.
Yes,
And
sir.
believe it, you can meet people that way. Um, I think what I wanted to say earlier was, if you're having burnout, let's say you're having burnout with dating, take that as an opportunity and as a sign that you need to focus on something else. So maybe you need to focus on like Daniel and his business, like he can turn it towards his business
Mhm.
or a new hobby, or like I said, go meet more people. Um, and that's going to enrich your life. Not
Mhm.
only will it'll give you that break that you need, but when you come back to, let's say, dating, you might have a new hobby or a new friend, and boom, that's gonna make you more confident, more interesting, and in the end, who doesn't want a new hobby or a new friend, right? Regardless if you have a partner or not. So there's so many opportunities here to take that spin and make it something new, something better. So,
Right. Put yourself first. Put yourself first.
but yes,
And that moves us right to the next tip here for self-care, or I'm sorry, for burnout.
mm-hmm.
And it's setting boundaries. We need to set boundaries
Yes,
because I think that when we're feeling burnout, it's because we are putting a lot of attention and focus on things that are not working for us, right? In this case, for dating, right? If we're overcommitting with dating, we're overthinking, we're overanalyzing, and so all our energy is going towards that thing. And what happens if that thing is not working, right? All this energy is kind of going to waste. But for some reason, we keep doing the same thing. So setting boundaries allows you to, again, taking a break and putting yourself first and basically telling yourself, okay, I'm going to stop putting pressure on myself. I'm going to stop responding to messages from this other person. I'm going to give myself the opportunity to take a break. And I'm sure it's easier said than done, but it's possible. And I think that's what you should actually be doing. What you should actually be doing if you really want to recover from this burnout feeling.
yes, well said. A couple things here. We've talked about this before, but boundaries, or I guess I should say lack of boundaries, is almost like it's the same thing of having, you're being outcome dependent, meaning you really want this person to write you back. You want this first date to work out, and oh my God, if it doesn't work out, I'm going to be crushed. You know, that's all outcome dependent. You know, setting boundaries is really like, look, listen, you know, I have these activities with my friends or my family, my job. I'll make time. I'll make the time for dating, and I'll carve out time for it. But don't turn your life upside down. Don't reschedule things with cancel things with friends, or start lacking in your job, and wasting all this time and effort and money just for nothing. Make it just a part of your. It's just like a partner. A partner should just be adding to your life. They should be icing on your cake. They should not be your cake or the base of your life. They should be their bonus, right? They make your life better. They enhance it. It's like hot sauce on food. It does not the whole food, but just a little bit makes it that much better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same thing. That's maybe not the best analogy, but you get the point. Yeah. You agree with that, Daniel?
Yeah, I definitely. Stop putting too much pressure on yourself and just uh, be okay with taking a break. I can't stress that enough. Take a break. You deserve it. You've already worked enough to see results, and if you're not seeing results, that means that thing is not working, and so you shouldn't be too invested into it in the first place. You should be taking a break in order to maybe come up with other ideas. I don't know who I heard this from, but he was talking about how we get our best ideas when we're not thinking about what we want, right? When we least expect it is when we get our best ideas and things that are going to make us better in the future. But if we're too invested in things that are not even giving us any results, then all we're doing, as I said before, is wasting that energy, because we could be using it for other things, for self-care. And of course, self-care is only possible when you know how to set boundaries. So set boundaries. And I'm going to move on to the next point here, which is manage expectations.
Yeah. And I kind of just went into that, kind of, I guess, happy accident. Yeah, that's about the validation thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier said than done, but going into a conversation, whether it's online, in public, on a first date, just hope for the best, but don't expect anything. Just go into it looking as in, like, I want to get to know this person. I want to see if they're cool or not. I want to see if they're a good match for me. Are they up to my standards? And this was my other point. This is kind of a tip for more the ladies, but this is a tip for the men too. On pretty much all these apps and sites, for example, Bumble is a good example. It's very easy. You can go into your settings and you can, I forget what they call it. You basically can turn off matches. So what I would suggest to do is, instead of, like, unless you're just really, really fed up, I guess, but I think that's extreme. Don't delete your profile or anything. Just go into the settings. It's like, it'll take you 10 seconds to flip a switch, turn off matches. And so what you can do is you keep your app and you can just put it to the side. You're not going to get, bombarded with messages and likes and all these notifications, because those can be kind of annoying especially if you're burnout. And then when you're ready, when you're really truly ready, go back in, flip the switch, and get back into it. But another tip, this is the real tip though, is if you're in it and you're talking to people, and especially as a woman, if you're talking to all these men and you're getting lots of likes and it's being overwhelming, go in there, get a few matches, get a handful of matches, or whatever number is good for you, whether it's 1 or 10. Go in there, turn off that setting, and then focus on those matches. And that way you're not getting overwhelmed, and that way you're giving those guys, or those people, I should say, your more of your attention and your intentions. And if some of those turn into dates and phone calls and stuff, great, explore those, see what happens. If all of those fizzle out for whatever reason, because they drop off or you think they're not a good match, go back in, get 5 more matches, let's say, turn it back off again, focus on those matches. That it helps everybody involved, you and the men, because that way everybody's going to get the chance, and you're really trying to see what's out there. And that goes back to the boundary thing, but it also goes with expectations. Just, I mean, I know Daniel, I mean, I think we're all guilty of this. We get way too much in our heads. We expect way too much of ourselves
Yes,
and other
we
people.
do. We do.
And this goes for everybody, men and women. When you're on a date, when you're talking to somebody, they're human just like you. They have their issues, their traumas, their imperfections, their worries. And I guarantee if you're feeling insecure or nervous, I almost guarantee they are too. And that's okay. So just look at it as this is a person I haven't met yet. I'm going to get to know them. Let's see if we like each other.
Right.
That's it. It's easier said than done, but this is something I've been trying to do, and it really
Yeah.
does. When you get in that mindset, it's really great. It's really powerful.
We were just talking about it, like how difficult
Yes.
it is to be outcome free. You know, and I think we concluded in that we are always gonna have that expectation, no matter what. We're always gonna expect something from, you know, from other people, from ourselves. So there is really no cure for having that, you know, the expectations. And that's why, you know, the point of this suggestion here is to manage the expectations, which is not saying completely rid of expectations, right? Manage your expectations means that you recognize, you accept that the expectation is going to be there, but you still accept it, and you know how to let it go when, you know, it's a lost cause.
Now, I want to clarify something in case don't confuse expectations with standards. So we're not saying don't have any standards or whatever. Have standards. Definitely have your standards. Try to be reasonable with your standards. Don't settle, but don't be looking for a unicorn or someone who's perfect, because no one's going to be perfect. You'll be hard to find somebody who checks every of your boxes. I mean, try to get 3 to 5 non-negotiables and look for those first. Mm-hmm. And if they meet those, then kind of proceed to the next level and see, are we a good match? But expectations, it's just, even if someone checks, like, because I've been on dates where on paper this woman is amazing, we have a lot of things in common, but it just doesn't work out for whatever reason. Maybe the personalities don't click, or she's not ready, or I'm not ready, you know. So that's the difference between expectations and standards. So I hope that was made sense.
Yeah, I look at standards as having boundaries more than anything.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that's close. Yeah,
same thing. Yeah. So yeah, expect, but know how to manage it, right? And know how to be detached. You know.
Well, actually, me and Daniel, before our call, before this recording, we were talking a little bit, and what did we say? What did we say? We said it's not so much that I mean, you can never be truly outcome independent. I mean, you can be mostly. The key is you have to be okay with whatever outcome comes. Yes. So if it's yes, no, you gotta be able to accept the no. Try not to take it too personally. Know that it's unless you're doing something really wrong or inappropriate, it's probably not you or all of you. And it just wasn't in the cards. And just be okay with that, and know that, hey, there's a lot of other people out there. There's someone else that's a better match for you.
Don't take yourself too seriously. It kind of goes back to that principle, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't take yourself.
I think everybody likes just an authentic person, right? We all like someone who's just cool and just authentic in their real self. I know I do. When someone's real, I really appreciate it. I love it. Even if whether it's a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter, you know?
Exactly. So we're drawn to authentic people. It's just part of, you know, human nature. And we can also tell who's being fake.
Yeah.
So,
sometimes you can, yeah.
We can tell. So authenticity, guys, and manage your expectations. Okay, number 5, seek support. Talk to friends, family, or a therapist about your feelings. Sometimes just sharing your thoughts and emotions can provide relief. So just, talk to somebody, reach out to, like we talked about before, you know, reach out to a friend, call a friend that you haven't talked in many years, you know, Go over that list
Yeah.
of yours. Go on Facebook and find the guy that you used to hang out with, but you haven't talked to him forever. Call that person, see how they're doing. Help other people. I think helping other people, makes you forget about yourself so much. I'm sorry, forget about you, and I think the problem that we have with, feeling burnout ultimately comes to being too selfish, right? You're only thinking about yourself. But what I found out is that when I stop thinking so much about me, and I focus on other people in a way that's helpful, and I get a lot of satisfaction by just doing nice things for others. I don't know. What do you think, Shane?
Yeah, that goes back. This whole thing goes back to self, kind of this number. I think is number two, self care and all that. Having a good support system is key. Family, friends, people you can trust, people you can get real with. You can be yourself. You don't have to hold back, and that includes getting angry or crying or whatever it is. That's great. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Don't hide these feelings in. Journaling. I've also heard journaling can be great.
Oh yeah,
And yoga can be great.
yeah.
Even just taking a long bath or a nice long bath or something. As far as therapy, I mean, I think thankfully now in 2023, at least for men, and definitely and that's for women too, but therapy is no longer a taboo thing or oh you need therapy. Therapy is I think everybody should at least have some therapy at some point.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
and there's no shortage of therapists out there. There's great ones. It's okay to, you might not find, just know that you might not find one right away. Usually you can do a couple sessions with one and you can figure out if they're a good match or not. And if they're not, they won't, I promise you, they won't mind if you tell them, hey, I'm going to look for somebody else. You can do just Google searches, but also there's a great website called Psychology Today. And there's a bunch of ways to like search and filter on there for different things. So if you are looking for a therapist, I would check that out. Or a lot of companies have like free therapy sessions, so many per year. So you can check that out. There's no excuses if you think therapy might help. I really suggest, I've done therapy, Daniel, and it's definitely helped me. And I'm not afraid to say that. So
Yeah. I mean, to me, guys, like a conversation like me and Shane, when we talk, that's therapy for me. Like,
yes,
I don't know, like there is many ways to describe or get therapy, right? You can just maybe go out and maybe get involved in a sport, and that might be therapeutical for you. So there is just many ways to do it, and it's all about just getting out of your head all the time, because the problem here is that you're too much in your head and not really prioritizing your peace of mind. So take a break. Whatever makes you forget about all these problems, that's what you need to be doing. So the next thing here is practice stress reduction techniques. So yes, I mean, at least for me, meditation is really good. Like I do it every day for 10 minutes, like first thing in the morning. Deep breathing exercises, yoga, mindfulness can help reduce stress and anxiety. These techniques can especially be helpful in managing dating related stress. Okay, yes, well, I mean, for me, I do it because, I run my own business, and, I have lots of activities throughout the day. And so before I even start anything, I have to have my meditation down and my physical exercise. Once I have those, I cannot start my day without having, my workout in and my meditation session done.
yeah. I mean, all those are good examples. I mean, even just something simple as a 10-minute walk outside, like in your neighborhood or in a park or something. And yeah, just exercise, lifting some weights, doing some sit-ups. A lot of stuff you can do in your house. I mean, you can buy like a set of resistant bands that usually they're like 25 to 40 bucks, $50, and you can do tons of exercise with those. They're pretty cheap, and you can do them inside. So if it's cold out or dark or it's hot out, yeah. And there's like lots of free yoga, a lot of free meditation up there. Or even just if you have a set of stairs, walk up and down stairs, a handful of times or a dozen times. That's good exercise, and it takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Those are all there's all kinds of things you can do. So
yeah, just by reading this list, guys, I feel like, it reminds me a lot of how depression feels like. And I don't know why I never really compare these two, burnout with depression, but for some reason, just going over this list, I can't help but see how similar they are. So
I think burnout could be a precursor to depression or could lead to it.
Yeah. So yeah, we need to figure out how to address this situation. The next point says here, prioritize sleep and nutrition. So make sure you're getting enough sleep and eating a balanced diet. These factors play a significant role in your ability to cope with stress. So, I mean, are you eating enough protein? Are you taking some, what do they, people be doing testosterone, checking for men, right? How is your T, Shane, these days? Have you got it checked?
How dare you? Yeah, actually, I'm working on that. It's fine, but it could be better. So yeah, we talked about that before. Like, sleep, drink water. Trying to go to bed at about the same time every day is good. They say 7 to 9 hours of sleep should be your target. I mean, there's always exceptions and things happen, but if you can get consistent sleep, and I'll try to wake up consistently too at the same time, your body will kind of figure it out. It does help. So
yeah. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, just what comes to mind for me is to being able to take care of yourself first, like putting yourself first. And I think that burnout happens because you've forgotten that you come first. You're putting everything else on a pedestal but yourself. But if you want to stop this burnout sensation, then you just need to turn the tables, right, and start prioritizing yourself. So I think that was the last one. The last one is plan and organize. Create a dating plan or a schedule that allows you to balance your dating life with other responsibilities and self-care activities. So
that goes back to the boundaries one.
Productivity, manage your time management.
Yeah, 2 ways to do that I've used is either schedule some time, just kind of mentally or on calendar, or there's I can't remember the name. There's a term for it where you do something for 25 minutes, then you take a 5-minute break.
And
then you can do another one of those. It starts with a P. Pomodoro, I think that's what it is. Pomodoro method. I've done literally, you just set a timer for 25 minutes. When that timer goes off, wrap up what you're doing, move on to the next thing. Where you're not putting time in, but you're not doing overtime. You're not on there for 3 hours on Tinder or whatever it is. But you're making time for it still.
Right. But I mean, you guys, if you're struggling with this, my recommendation, according to what we've already gone over here, is that you should just take a break and plan out your new schedule. Just focusing on yourself over whatever this burnout situation is. Whatever is giving you burnout, needs to be put aside for some time, and then plan and organize your new routine, your new game plan. That's my suggestion for you guys. I wish you guys out of this burnout feeling, because like I said, it sounds like, to me at least, it sounds like depression, and I've dealt with depression, and I don't wish it on anyone. So
Yeah, depression is no joke. So we don't wish that upon anybody. And again, if you're feeling like that, talk to a friend, talk to somebody you trust, talk to a therapist. There's also, crisis lines that are out there. I mean, there's other options. Yeah, just go back to, just to wrap this up. Recognize those signs. Recognize those signs, and then do what you have to do. Don't be in denial. Just accept it. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. It happens. I've had it. I'm sure Daniel said he's had it. We've all had it.
Yeah, we've all had it. We're all
Nowadays
guilty.
nowadays with social media and online dating, work pressures, the pandemic that we had, and just all kinds of other things. There's 100 things coming at us daily. So another good one, a bonus tip here, is maybe get off social media. I know many, well, I shouldn't say many, I know at least a few people who have got off social media and they feel so much better. And I'm not knocking social media. I mean, it has a great purpose, but if you get on social media and you feel depressed or down,
yeah,
be cognizant.
if it's not helping your burnout, then that means that it's not.
Exactly.
And then you should need to
exactly. I know people who get really burnout with that. So just really recognize those signs, guys. Daniel, this was great. This was powerful. I hope we had a good message to people tonight. So
yes, sir. So you guys take it easy, and we'll be back next week. Peace.
We'll see you guys later.